match of the day on All-Star Wrestling today. Of course, these people in our studio audience, we'll tell you later how you can be a member of the studio audience if you like. It's free. You just have to drop us a note with a self-addressed stamped envelope. And be listening a little later. We'll tell you what that address is. But we're set to go with our third match of the day, the Super Destroyer. The Destroyer, 245 pounds, 6'3" tall. I have no idea where he's from. The Super Destroyer, I can tell you, has just come from the Maritimes, though, where he was the international heavyweight champion. In the opposite corner, from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, that's Joe Martin. Joe Martin, 230 pounds. In his first year of professional wrestling. And you can probably see Verne Siebert is going over there doing some instructions to this guy, the Super Destroyer. Neil Drummond, the referee, checking out that mask to make sure there's nothing in there. In fact, one of the fans said he didn't think there was even a head in there. As we get started, a 10-minute time limit in this match. Joe Martin from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia versus the Super Destroyer. Another find of vicious Verne Siebert. Cannot believe this guy. His charisma, I think David Gold said. I can't believe. That's a whole new meaning to the word charisma. The Super Destroyer with a headlock on Martin. I don't know how long this guy's been around. A lot of rumors about who this guy, the Super Destroyer, is. Only because I can't guarantee exactly who he is. I'm not going to say any of the rumors. Hard right hand from the Destroyer. Our referee for this match, Neil Drummond, have his hands full hanging on to this. I want to tell you at this time that if you'd like to be a member of the studio audience, I said it a little earlier, you need send us a little note with a self-addressed stamped envelope inside. Self-addressed stamped envelope mandatory, and we will send you tickets to All-Star Wrestling. Right here, you can come out to the studio audience for the videotaping at BCTV. You drop a note to All-Star Wrestling, Post Office Box 4700, Vancouver, BC, V6B 4A3. Put tickets on the outside of the envelope, whatever you do. Post Office Box 4700. Make sure you mark tickets on the outside of the envelope. And don't forget the self-addressed stamped envelope. That is new. We've not asked for it before, but it does make it an awful lot easier. The Super Destroyer with a headlock on Joe Martin. I'm not too sure where these fans have come from, but believe it or not, Verne Siebert has, I think, pumped the audience with some of his supporters out there because they're telling them to break it. The Super Destroyer picks up Martin. There's a headbutt. Joe Martin never really had a chance to even get started in this match. As this guy, the Super Destroyer, we're only in our 4th minute in this match, but he has commanded this match all the way. Getting a little coaching from Verne Siebert on the sidelines, grabs onto him, hangs onto that head once again. Good bit of scientific wrestling here on the part of the Super Destroyer. He knows that headlock has worked. He's got it into a sleeper. No question that's into a sleeper. Martin is out cold. That's it. That is a sleeper on Joe Martin from the Super Destroyer, and that ends that match. No question about that. As the Super Destroyer, that's the second time we've seen him use a sleeper. He does that very well. The Super Destroyer over Joe Martin. We're going to go up to ringside. You can see Verne Siebert complimenting the Super Destroyer. Neil Drummond, the referee, telling him he's going to have to wake this guy up, and he will. You can see him up there. What a way to wake up. That didn't even do it. That didn't even do it. As they're trying to pick him up again. Now, there's only a certain amount of time that they can do here, but it's very important that he wake him up.
Listen, he'll do exactly as I say. He'll do everything I tell him to do. If I tell him to wake him up, he'll wake him up. If I tell him to get rid of Tomko, he'll get rid of Tomko. If I tell him to get the Canadian Heavyweight Championship belt for me, he'll do it. He's wrestling for me, and he's the most awesome wrestling machine.
Is he a robot?
I wouldn't call him a robot. I'd call him a perfectionist, actually. He's a perfectionist. And he just does everything meticulously well. And he's very intelligent, but I don't know if he really wants to talk to you. Do you want to say a few words to these?
I thought he'd do anything you told him to.
I don't know. I think... See.
Thank you.
Where is Sergeant Tomko?
Where is Sergeant Tomko? That's a good question. Is he supposed to be out here?
Where's Sergeant Tomko? He didn't show up this week. Did you see what happened to him last week? I beat him like a dog, baby. I beat him like a dog. Just like everything else. He's a Canadian champion, but only for 2 more days. Sergeant Tomko takes 90 minutes to watch a 60-minute show. An hour and a half to watch 60 minutes. That is your champion. I got a job for you, Sergeant Tomko. When I take your belt, I'm going to make you the national poster man for birth control. I'm going to put your face in everybody's bedroom, and nobody will even want to sleep in there.
Right.
Oh, that's an interesting comment. Oh, he's got one thing going. I must say that I don't see Master Sergeant Tomko around.
Tomko's running scared. He knows his days are numbers. He knows that the belt's going to belong to this man. He knows I'm going to have the belt in my army. He is going to be the Canadian champion. And you know, when I say something, Ed, it happens. Right, Ed? It happens.
Do I have to answer that?
Yes, that's true. Yes, he's running scared. He's running scared. He's running scared. Tomko's running scared. He's running scared. He's heading for the hills. He's going to Jerusalem. He's going to Israel. He's going to Jordan. He's going to
I can
everywhere.
believe all this, but I must say that Master Sergeant Tomko was supposed to come out here and have a word or two with me. I can't believe that he didn't show up.
The excitement's building. He's got to be there. It's coming up on this certain Monday. Sometime it's coming up, and I know that he's got to get that belt ready because the excitement's going to be there. Because this man will be representing you Canadian people. I will be representing you.
Wait a minute. Maybe I just figured it out. Maybe I know why he didn't come out here.
Canada!
If he's going to have a match with this guy in the ring in the next little while, why would he want to come out here and get beaten right now?
It's none of your business.
No percentage of that.
I just want to tell you one thing. It's just like Canada. Their money's useless. Their people are useless. And let you shut your mouth when I'm talking.
Well, we had a letter to this effect that one of the fans was writing in and saying that, if you keep up this anti-Canadian bit, Mr. Siebert, you're liable to be deported.
I'm Mr. Canada. I represent these Canadian people because I will represent them. I bring in good talent.
What about all these talents that come in here all the time and they don't speak very well?
Well, listen, the only reason why is because there's no Canadian wrestlers who can keep those titles. I'm bringing in, importing wrestlers from other countries.
What about
bringing
you?
them in. Well, if I could be a champion, but I'd rather be a manager and help these men obtain this glory, and this will be the biggest title this man has ever held. He's held titles all over the world, but he wants that Canadian title.
Starting to smell a little heavy in here, so we'll be back in just a moment.